second tip-in by Carl Farrell at Central Catholic, and then these two squads met in the quarterfinals of the WPIAL tournament, a game that Uniontown won by 8, and although the final score was close, it does bear to remember that Uniontown led throughout in that contest. The Red Raiders, of course, a balanced attack. You know the names by now, the trio of 3,000-point scorers, Greg Vaughns, D.R. Jenkins, and Chris Jacobs. But you know, Tennessee Ernie Ford once said in his song 16 Tons, I got one hand of iron, the other of steel. If the right one don't get you, the left one will. Well, they showed that in their first round victory over Trinity. D.R. Jenkins did not score in the game. Problem? No problem. Carl Farrell with 17, David Winfrey with 14, and the Raiders continue to roll. A well-balanced team, a lot of ways they can beat you. Of course, Steve Buchas and Drew Garcia, the big guns for Central Catholic. We'll find out. Someone once said the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result each time. Central Catholic has already lost 3 times to the Red Raiders. Will they try a change-up? Will they try to slow it down? They've been playing up-tempo with the Raiders up till now. Will they try a little less man-to-man and see if they can throw in a few more zones? We'll see what head coach Chuck Crummey has in store for the Raiders. Will he make some changes, or will he hope that the 4th time is the charm? Again, we'll multiply it by 2. This is the second round. This is the 4th time these two schools have played, and the winner advances to the Elite 8. Here in the state of Pennsylvania. It's Central Catholic and Uniontown opening tap, and the starting lineups coming up right after this on Herald Standard Television Sports. Here on HSTV Sports, the Drive for 5, Game 2. 5 wins, the number you need to win a state title, and if the Red Raiders can accomplish that, it would be their 5th state championship all time in boys basketball, to go along with the titles they won in 1925, 1962, 1964, and most recently 21 years ago in 1981. And the road to Hershey, that ran through Washington County on Saturday, now runs through Allegheny County as we are at Chartiers Valley High School, right outside of Bridgeville, just across the line into Allegheny County, home of the WPIAL Quad 8 champions from last year, as Red Raider fans well know. Char Valley pulling off the upset over Uniontown in last year's championship game, but this year the Raiders are your Whippeal champs. Now seeing if they can add a state title to that as well. Standing in their way, a familiar foe, the Vikings of Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Central Catholic comes into this game with an overall record of 16-10. They finished 8-4 in Section 4 to qualify for the WPIAL Playoffs, where they defeated North Allegheny in the first round. That put them into the state tournament. They then lost in the quarterfinals to Uniontown, 69-61, but again, had already qualified for the state tournament. In the state tournament, they drew Altoona in the first round and won on a buzzer beater, 51-49. Central Catholic to advance into the Sweet 16. The Raiders, of course, come in with a sterling mark of 27-1. They won Section 2, undefeated at 12-0. 3 straight wins in the Whippeal tournament, beating Central Catholic by 8, Mount Lebanon by 21 in the semifinals, and that thrilling 60-57 victory over Newcastle in the championship game. Their opening win in the state tournament over Trinity at Ringgold on Saturday by 15. They won 70-55. So that's what brings these two teams here into the second round of the state tournament. And now let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll start off with the visiting Central Catholic Vikings wearing the blue and gold. We're very familiar with Central Catholic. It's not only the 4th time these two teams have played, it's the 3rd time we've covered a Uniontown Central Catholic game. I feel like I know them as well as just about any other team we've covered. Taking a look at their starting lineup, number 3 is Jacob Barker. He is a 5'11 junior guard. He runs the show offensively. Steve Buchas, as good as they come here on this Central Catholic squad, he's a 6'4 senior forward. He wears number 22. And he, along with this gentleman coming out right now, number 30, Drew Garcia, there are the leading scorers. Garcia, a 6'1 senior guard. Number 33, is Jim Highland. He is a 6'3" junior guard. And the fifth starter is number 52, 6'4" senior Connor Lamb. The Central Catholic Vikings are led by head coach Chuck Crummey. And now wearing the home whites, your Uniontown Red Raiders, the WPIAL champions. Dave Schuck, of course, is the head coach. They will wear the white uniforms with the maroon trim. Taking a look at their starting five, no surprises here. It will be the typical all-senior starting five, and the point guard is number 12. David Winfrey had his best offensive performance point-wise of the postseason in that game against Trinity in the first round of the state tournament. Winfrey is a 5'10" senior. The center is 6'2" senior. Number 14, Carl Farrell, also his top point production of the postseason came in that Trinity victory. Deere Jenkins is a 6'2" senior guard. He wears number 20. Number 24, leading scorer for the Red Raiders, Terrence Vaughn. Terrence, of course, a 5'11" senior. And at forward is 6'1", senior number 32, Chris Jacobs. And that's your starting five for the Red Raiders. So we get ready for the second round game, and we'll have the opening tap in a few moments. But first, let's pause for a rendition of our national anthem. The winner of tonight's game moves into the state quarterfinals and will play the winner of the game between Erie Cathedral Prep out of District 10 up in northwestern Pennsylvania and Shenley, the City League champions. They're playing on this same night, and obviously by the time you watch this broadcast, you know who's advanced as far as that game is concerned. But as we sit here this evening for this game, obviously the Raiders have no idea of knowing who their next opponent would be if they take care of business tonight on their end. They can't worry about next opponents. It's sudden death, it's elimination. It's the way postseason tournaments are. One loss, one off night, and your season is over. You cannot afford to look ahead. And 3 victories over Central Catholic, well, that and $1.15 will get you a coffee at Starbucks. That's about what those 3 wins are worth right now, because it's all about tonight. If Central Catholic could win tonight, they wouldn't care that they were 1-3 against the Raiders. They'd say, we won the one that counted. And you know what? The Raiders would probably say the same thing. So they have to. TCB tonight, folks. Take care of business and move on to the Elite 8. Bucas and Farrell will jump center. We're underway. Opening tap comes to Central Catholic. They'll get the first possession of tonight's encounter. Uniontown in the familiar man-to-man, and we'll get a bump right off the top as Farrell will be called for an early foul. Well, I can see a problem already, Eric. They got a pole in my way here. I'm going to have to lean up over it. I'm up here in the balcony. bringing you the action here tonight. I don't want to stand. I got fans behind me. I might have to, though. Quick ball movement and a steal. Vaughns has Jenkins. He'll take it himself and send him to the line. The running Raiders off to a good start. Foul is called on Barker. Vaughns with 2, and now he'll try to make it 3. Used D.R. Jenkins as a decoy there. Took it to the hole. 3-point play to start things off, and the Raiders have the early lead. Stealing a score by Terrence Vaughns. That was nice ball movement by Central Catholic, but one pass too many. You got to be careful with that against the Raiders. Now into Bucas, looking to turn around on Farrell. No good. Rebound by Lamb, batted away, gets it back, and scores. First 2 of the night for the Vikings. Raiders lead by 1. Uniontown comes right back down the court. Now Jacobs. Can DR save it? He does. Nice hustle by Jenkins. And Winfrey will set up the Raider offense. Central Catholic does come out in a zone. We talked about that in the pregame. They played primarily man-to-man in the first 3 matchups, but not this time. Jenkins, the 3, no good, and Jacobs will be called over the top for the loose ball foul. Second team foul on the Raiders, 6:50 remaining in the first period, and it's 3-2 Uniontown. Of course, Raider fans would like to see Jenkins get off the schneid here, as he did not score in that Trinity game, and we're all trying to remember the last time that happened. Just could not get the shot to go down. He contributed in many other ways, of course, but I'd like to see him start to put points up. And now look at that off the window. We've got to call that bank. Central Catholic has their first lead, so they've already done something a minute and a half into this game that they never did in that WPIAL tournament game, and that is lead. Now Farrell's short jumper is no good, and the ball off of Chris Jacobs. So back come the Vikings. Uniontown only won that game by 8, but they led throughout, and in fact led by double digits most of the way. But Central Catholic does take an early lead here tonight. Highland picked up the dribble, but was able to get some help. Now Garcia. They'll try the backdoor cuts. Here comes Barker on the drive, no good. Jenkins with the rebound. Controlled break now, up to Jacobs. Gets it back to Dier, and up top to Winfrey now. 5:57 on a turning clock. There's Vaughns in the corner, fakes it. Now bounce pass into Farrell. Turn around. Ooh, in and out. Tough luck, but a break for the Raiders as Bucas couldn't hang on to the rebound all by himself. Ball just spun out of his hands. Uniontown will inbounds under the hoop. Well, Central Catholic has gone exclusively zone here early on. Vaughns tries to get it to Farrell, and well, a good try by Garcia. He tried to bang it off of Carl, but it went off of Carl and then hit Garcia. So Uniontown will inbounds again. Well, Chuck Crummey's going to force Uniontown to beat them from outside. And again, I think that's sound strategy. The man-to-man certainly hasn't worked in 3 attempts. You can talk about playing them close all you want, but you don't want to play them close. You want to win, so you try something different. Now Vaughns on the drive, no good. Who touched it last? They'll say it's off of Terrence. Viking ball. Of course, if you play exclusively zone against Uniontown, if they are shooting well, and they're normally a good shooting team, they're going to light you up from 3, and so I don't know if that'll work either. But probably worth a try. You may just want to switch defenses as often as possible. Now Highland to Barker, and they'll get it back up to Lamb. Of course, Uniontown won't switch defenses very much. They'll throw in an occasional 1-3-1, but it's mainly man-to-man. And now inside, Garcia with the score. 6-3 Central Catholic. Nice pass to Farrell, but the rejection by Bucas, he got a piece of it. Vaughns with a nice dish. Good interior defense by Central Catholic. Now here's Jenkins again. 3 ball is strong. Jacobs could not save it. So Uniontown struggling offensively early, and we get our first substitution of the game as Simon Harris checks in for the Vikings. Harris, a 6'2 sophomore, wears number 4. Lamb will take a seat. We've seen Coach Crummy substitute freely for Central Catholic in the games in which we've carried against Uniontown, although not as much in the second half of that WPIAL championship game. We'll see what the strategy is here. Now a foul will be called on Winfrey up top as he gets a piece of Garcia. That's the third foul on the Raiders. Rob Cugini now going to check in for the Vikings. Number 5 comes in for Barker. Cugini is a 5'11 senior, backup point guard. Raiders struggled in the first period against Trinity, trailing at one point 11-5, and trailed at the end of one quarter of play 13-12 before turning it on in the second quarter. Now that 3 by Garcia is an air ball. Jenkins with the rebound. Now Winfrey gets it to Terrence Vaughns. 3-ball, corner pocket. 6 points for Vaughns, and we are tied at 6. Terrence Vaughns with a 3-point play and a 3-point shot. Now Cugini trapped in the corner, and the Vikings play throw it away. Turnover, Raider ball. 3:42 left in the first period. Pat Brannigan now will check into the game, number 40, 6'2 sophomore forward. And Cugini will take a seat after just a short period of action. Now a conference at the scoring table. Your officials for tonight's game are Ray Morton, Paul Skirtich, and Mark Tortorella. And Raider Nation getting their chant on. Now Vaughns from the corner. Look at Chris Jacobs go up high for the rebound, blocked. And that was Bucas again, his second rejection. Now kicking it over to Brannigan, and he'll put it up from 3. First points off the bench for the Vikings. Central Catholic back up by 3 at 9-6. Well, we've seen this before this year. And now Winfrey's 3 is no good, and Brannigan with the rebound. And Coach Shuck not pleased with that shot by Winfrey. And a steal by Vaughns, and he has Winfrey ahead of the field. Second steal by Terrence Vaughns, and it's led to 5 Raider points. First 2 of the night for David, and it's 9-8. Raiders trail by 1. Yeah, David has to take that shot occasionally, but you don't want him taking it that early in the possession. Now Brannigan, that 3 is no good. Vaughns will just let the ball bounce out of bounds. Now the first Raider substitutions of the night. Brandon Duncan and Kevin McLee will check in. Duncan wears number 30. He is a 6'2 junior, and McLee, of course, the 6' senior, wears number 52. Ross Watson, number 34, into the game for Central Catholic, and also Barker checks back in. 2:29, 2.5 minutes left here in the first period. Uniontown trails by 1. Vaughns into McLee. High arcing turnaround in the lane. First 2 off the bench for the Raiders. And they're back in the lead, 10-9. Approaching 2 minutes remaining, first quarter. And now Harris will put it up from 3, and that's strong. And Winfrey, nice rebound. Gets it ahead to Jacobs. He'll chase it down in the corner. Double team. Now gets it out to David. Now Terrence, dribble drive. And 1. For the second time in the first period, Terrence Vaughns with a chance at a 3-point play. Minute 51 remaining. Here in the first period, it's now 12-9 Raiders. Terrence Vaughns already with 7 points. Is that right? No, that's not right. Has a 3-point shot in there. He already has 8 points. He has a 3-point shot and now 2 3-point plays. So he has 9 of the And there's something wrong on the scoreboard. They put the score up wrong, and we're going to get a whistle during the action because they totally got the score wrong. The Raiders have 13. It should be 13-9. Right now the scoreboard says 13-11. It should be 13-9. When Terrence just scored, they put the points up on the Central Catholic side. The scoreboard here reads Colts and Guest. The Raiders are the Colts, the home team. And Central Catholic is the guest, and now some fans in Raider Nation are getting restless. Settle down, they'll get it straightened up. It's 13-9, no doubt about that, and there it is. Now they put it right on the scoreboard, and the fans show their appreciation. A minute 41 left. I tell you what, Raider Nation was right on top of that. As soon as that wrong score went up, they knew it first, before anybody. Now Lamb to Barker, and he'll be called for the travel. So another Viking turnover. They've actually handled the ball pretty well here in the first quarter. Just a couple of turnovers. Well, 4 by my count. I don't know. Is that handling the ball well? Now Brandon Duncan into Vaughn's corner. No good. And another, well, nope, not an offensive rebound for Jacobs. Torn away from him. Nice dish. Garcia to Barker for the score. First 2 for Barker, and now it's 13-11. And the Central Catholic fans will say, see, score was right. It was just a little early. Now Brandon Duncan will fake it, take it, and make it for 3. Second tray of the period for the Raiders. Now Lamb wide open, missed the bunny, and will be called for the foul over the top. Not a good sequence for Connor Lamb. Missing a foul, his first, second team foul on the Vikings, and with 59.3 seconds remaining. Now we'll get some substitutions. Farrell and Jenkins will come back in. Winfrey and Jacobs will take a quick rest here at the end of the period. Simon Harris checks back in as well for the Vikings. Final minute, Raiders by 5. Farrell, quick turnaround, that's strong. Garcia with the rebound. Now the Vikings. Not afraid to run when the opportunity presents itself. Nice backdoor cut. Barker, beautiful drive. That was smooth inside. Jacob Barker now with 4. It's 16-13. Beautiful look-off pass there by Bucas. Now Brandon Duncan from the other corner. This one no good. And with 23 seconds left, ahead of the field now is Bucas. No foul called. And the first points of the game for Steve Bucas come right at the end of the quarter. Now it's a 1-point game, 10 seconds left. Raiders can play for 1. Jenkins from the corner, no good. Farrell battling for the rebound, doesn't get it. Barker has it, and time will run out. And that's the end of the first quarter of play. So Central Catholic doing what they wanted to do in the first period. They are very much in this game. A Raider run late in the quarter, but then some points even later in the quarter, I guess you'd say, by the Vikings. And after 1 quarter of play, the score is Uniontown 16, Central Catholic 15. Back with the second quarter right after this on HSTV Sports. Welcome back, Chuck Durso with you, and get ready for Raider time. At least we hope so. But that's certainly been the story throughout this season. The second quarter has been the Raiders' quarter, and it certainly was in the first round game against Trinity. Uniontown trailed by a point after 1 period of play, 13-12, and then led 40-24, led by 16 at the half. And that's not the only time this year. They've done this in many games, including their first matchup against Central Catholic, where they pulled away in the second period. Let's see if they can do it here. It's 16-15, Uniontown by 1. Raiders get the first possession. Jacobs misses the short jumper. Farrell runs it down. Cannot save it, though. And now a 2-on-1. Brannigan, Garcia, high off the glass. Simon Harris saves it. Now Bucas pulls up at the free throw line, in and out. Vaughns can't get the rebound. Farrell does. Chance for Central Catholic to take the lead. That pass was deflected. Jacobs tried to hit Jenkins. Uniontown will inbound. 7:27 left here in the first half. Again, Central Catholic, after playing a lot of man-to-man in the first 3 matchups, going primarily zone in this one. But Chris Jacobs finds a seam and puts in his first 2 of the night. Raiders back up by 3. That's been Uniontown's largest lead. They've led by 3 on a few occasions. Now Brannigan, checked by Jenkins. Now Harris gets it back to Brannigan. He made a 3 in the first period, thought about one there. Can't think about it though against the Raiders. You just have to react. Once he hesitated, it was too late. Now here comes Garcia. Oh, he came back down to the court. Well, that was a travel. And the official is saying the ball was tipped while he was in the air. Well, I don't know if I agree with that, but at least I understand what he's thinking. I know Coach Shuck doesn't agree with that. And we had a nice angle, and it didn't look like the ball was batted out of his hands in the air. Anyway, no travel was called, and then the ball out of bounds off the Raiders. So Central Catholic almost throws it away there. Nice catch by Garcia. And now Bucas for 3 would have tied it. No good. And Farrell with the rebound. Be careful on that pass. Now Jacobs. Chuck Crummey wants a carrying violation there. Something's out on the court, and they're going to blow a whistle now. And I think Terrence Vaughns may have lost a little of the decorations there. A little of the accoutrements. Corey Diethorn now will check in for the first time tonight for the Vikings. 6'4" sophomore forward. Bucas will take a rest. 6:26 remaining here in the half. Uniontown has the only 2 points of the second period. They lead 18-15. Now Terrence Vaughns pulls up, puts up, and puts in with the friendly roll. 11 points for Terrence early on. Leading scorer in every postseason game so far for the Raiders. Air ball, but look at that. Ross Watson, the beneficiary of the largesse, and it's back to a 3-point game. They'll slack off of Winfrey up top. They'll let him take that shot if he wants to. Ah, but a beautiful dish. Farrell and a rejection by Watson. Oh, that was impressive. And now Jacobs can't handle the pass inside, and back come the Vikings. Farrell looked like he had an easy 2, and Ross Watson with a very athletic play as he skies to swat it off the glass. Now the double team, Brannigan, and a foul will be called on Farrell. That will be Carl's second, the 4th team foul on the Raiders. Barker back in for the Vikings as Brannigan will take a seat. 5:34 left in the half. 20-17 Uniontown. See if Coach Shuck chooses to leave Farrell out there with the 2 fouls. Kevin McLee is reporting to the scoring table, and he will come in now for Carl. Vikings now inbound under the hoop. Garcia. Winfrey checking him. Drive baseline. And the shot is missed, and the follow is also missed by Watson. And now a scramble, and a foul will be called. No, not a foul. I believe Watson's foot was on the baseline while he was in contact with the ball. So it's Raider ball. Boy, Diethorn looked to have an easy layup. That shot didn't go, and the follow by Watson also no good. So back come the Raiders looking to extend their 3-point advantage. 5:10 on a turning clock. Central Catholic extending that zone out a little bit. Uniontown looking to penetrate with the passes throughout this first half. They're not content with just working it around. Look at Winfrey with the look one way and the dish the other way. Jacobs with the score. But a beautiful dish by Winfrey. Oh my goodness, what a lovely assist that one was. 5-point Raider lead. And now the Vikings throw it away again. Back come the Raiders with 4:38 left in the half. Harris will now check back in for the Vikings. Diethorn will take a seat. Chuck Durso with you. Glad to have you with us. Now they're going to say that Terrence Vaughn's foot was on the sideline. So a Raider turnover. We'll come back the other way. and multitudes of maroon-clad officials in the stands would like to offer an alternative opinion. Point, counterpoint at Char Valley High School. Now trouble getting the ball inbounds. Oh, that had to be a travel. Wasn't called, but still a turnover. Jacobs comes away with it. Raiders by 5. Haven't looked particularly smooth offensively, but they have the lead. And now look at that effort by Kevin McLeod. Second effort. Boo has 4. Head coach Chuck Crummy wants a timeout, a full timeout called with 4:13 remaining in the first half. And the Raiders with their largest lead of the night at 24-17. And Raider Nation chanting into that good night in Allegheny County. Well, my partner, the coach, Jess Hudson, unable to be with us tonight, of course, because his Clairton Lady Bears are playing in the Sweet 16 themselves in girls Class A, and as long as they keep winning, we won't have Jess with us. And my other partner, Joe Ho, in the house. No, Joe Ho not in the house. He's also coaching. Coaches all over the place. He's coaching, Joe, of course, best center boys basketball coach, and they're in an undergrad tournament this evening, so he was unable to be with us as well. Perhaps we'll have one or both of them with us in the next round. First, we got to make sure there is a next round, though. That's up to those young men in white down there on the court. 24-17, the Raiders with the lead. And as predicted, by the way, Raider fans outnumbering Viking fans big time. There's more of them, and they're a heck of a lot louder. Now again, trouble getting it in. And McLeod swats it out of bounds. Jim Highland just couldn't find anybody. The Raiders not pressuring the inbounds passer. Is playing 5-on-4 defensively. They're tough enough when they play a one up. This time the Vikings get it in. When we talk about the Raiders doing so well in the second quarter, and so far they have outscored Central Catholic by 6 midway through this second period. They lead by 7. They haven't put on one of those Raider runs yet, and now Garcia will draw contact. Jacobs will be called for his second foul. That's the 15th foul on the Raiders, shooting foul, and Garcia will go to the line. And these will be the first free throws of the night for Central Catholic. Uniontown only has 2 free throws so far as well, and that's Terrence Vaughn's twice on the back end of 3-point plays. Garcia gets the roll. He now has 3 points. 24-18, 3:50 remaining in the first half. Raiders lead by 6. Garcia hits them both, and it's a 5-point game. Now some full court pressure by the Vikings. First time we've seen that this evening. Uniontown breaks it with ease. Vaughn's on the drive. Shot doesn't go. Trying to attack that pressure. Maybe a little out of control there. Now back come the Vikings. Try to cut into that lead. Shot does not go. Back to Garcia, though. The short jumper in and out, and McLeod with the rebound. Jenkins does not have numbers. He'll slow it down. No, he won't. He'll drive and score. First 2 points of the PIAA tournament for De'Aaron Jenkins. And he went 1-on-3 to get him. I thought he was going to. Little hesitation move there. Faked me out in the Vikings, too, as Vaughn's boots one up into the seats. Well, we'll see if that gets De'Aaron going now. Well, not yet, because he's going to sit down as Duncan checks back in. Has to be a relief, though, for Jenkins to get on the scoreboard. And now a travel will be called on Garcia as he tried to go 1-on-3 himself. Chris Jacobs nicely cutting him off baseline. Garcia went with the spin move and was called for the travel. Will check in. Jacobs will take a seat. Cugini back in now for Central Catholic. Barker sits down. Again, full court pressure by the Vikings. And here's Brandon Duncan. He'll slow it down. Careful on that pass. Winfrey. Oh, bounce pass right between Farrell and McLee. I don't want it, you take it. And both of them watched it go between them. So a Raider turnover. Central Catholic with some full court pressure kind of leading to that. Got that particular possession kind of out of sequence right from the start. Or out of sync, I should say. 2:42 left in the half. Central Catholic still very much in this game. Nice defensive play by Kevin McLee. And look at Winfrey come out of the field. And now Farrell will slow it down. Careful, there's a steal. Nice play by Drew Garcia. He has 6. And Coach Shuck immediately wants the timeout. Not happy with that pass. This was a 30-second timeout with 2:24 remaining. Here in the half, it's 26-21. Red Raiders. Uniontown 27-1 on the season. They won their first 9 games before losing out in the semifinals of the Las Vegas Holiday Prep Classic to Bishop Gorman of Nevada, 72-61. Bishop Gorman, by the way, as many of you Raider fans probably already know, they went on to win the state championship in Nevada in their classification, which is the highest classification out there. They've already completed their state tournament. So the one team to beat Uniontown this year, a state champs. Since then, the Red Raiders have won 18 in a row. And they come in with that mark of 27-1. Central Catholic, of course, 16-10 on the season, but 8-3 in their last 11 games. 2 of those 3 losses have come to the Red Raiders, including in the quarterfinals of the WPIAL tournament. Now we got a whistle as they come out of the timeout. Central Catholic only had 4 players on the court, I believe. Or maybe not. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Thought I saw someone come off the bench and go on the court, which of course you can do coming out of a timeout, but I think they only had 4 to begin with. Now Vaughns, Jenkins, back to Terrence. 13 points for Vaughns, and the Raiders reestablish their 7-point lead. Now Garcia with the travel. Not trying to do too much there. That's what this Raider pressure will do to you, especially when you're a big gun on the team. You feel you have to carry the load. Garcia trying to do too much there. Just have to let the game come to you. Now Winfrey needs help. Gets it from Jenkins. This would be a 2. 4 points for Dier. And now Jenkins will be called for a foul with 1:47 left. And that will be his first 6th foul on the Raiders, so no foul shots here. Central Catholic will inbounds. Vikings have committed only 3 fouls in the first half. Raiders now with their largest lead at 9. Now Watson looking to drive. That's a travel. And now Central Catholic starting to pile up the turnovers. Vikings getting sloppy with the ball. Now the Raiders, with a score here, would push the lead into double digits. 1.5 minutes remaining. Winfrey, well, they're having some trouble with that full court pressure, but a foul is called on Watson, and that's a break for the Raiders because they're struggling a little bit right now handling the pressure. Ross Watson's first foul, 4th team foul on the Vikings. Uniontown will inbounds with 1:33 left. Now Highland pressuring Winfrey in the backcourt. There's Jenkins in the paint, pulls up, puts up, and puts in. 6 quick points for Dier. Now he's rolling, and the Raiders lead by 11. And Jenkins reaching around Bucas to swat it out of bounds. Parker and Harris will check back in. Cugini, Bucas will take a seat. Brannigan in as well for Highland. Highland didn't want to leave. He was waving Brannigan off. Well, you can't play with 6 as much as you'd like to against Uniontown. They just don't let you. The rules won't allow it. Now Garcia up top, Winfrey checking in. Barker looking for Watson inside, instead swings it around to Brannigan. He gets around Jenkins, and now a foul will be called on Dier. And that will be his second and the 7th team foul on the Raiders, so Brannigan will go to the line for one of the bonus. 1 minute, 1 second remaining. Coach Shuck going to reinsert Brandon Duncan, I would assume, for Jenkins, since he has the 2 fouls. Can't come in, though, unless Brannigan makes this free throw, which he does. Well, I guess that was a 2. Were they calling that a shooting foul? I believe they were calling that a 2-shot foul. I don't think he was in the act of shooting. At any rate, he makes them both. Doesn't really matter. Now Farrell, trouble getting it in bounds, gets it to Duncan. Final minute of the first half, 32-23. Now Duncan, McClee, and a nice defensive play by Brannigan to knock it out of bounds. He's trying to say he didn't touch it. And the official has 2 words for that. Please. Farrell will inbounds under the basket, 54.5 seconds remaining. Raiders by 9. Chris Jacobs will check back in on the next dead ball. Now Winfrey. Over to Terrence Vaughn's. Open to McClee underneath. That's goaltending. Ross Watson got a piece of it. Definitely goaltending. 6 points for Kevin McClee, and the Raiders back up by 11. Kevin will take a seat off of that score as Jacobs comes back in, and Christian needs to be careful now for these final 40 seconds. He has 2 fouls. 34-23. Well, the Raiders never really put on one of those patented Uniontown runs in this period, but still you look up and they've outscored Central Catholic by 10 here in the second quarter. Led by 1 coming into the period. It's now up by 11. Central Catholic with a chance to narrow that a bit with a score here. Now Garcia on the drive, got up in the air. Boy, he found Barker. That 3 is no good. And Brandon Duncan, nice try on the rebound. Harris had position, but Duncan was able to at least knock it out of bounds. Central Catholic will inbounds with 19.9 seconds left. Garcia's gotten up in the air a couple times this evening and then tried to figure out what to do with it. You can't do that. If you're going to leave the court, you better know what you're doing ahead of time, especially against the Raiders, where the fans were counting the 5 seconds down there. Here's Brannigan, a long-range 3, and that's his second of the night. And now Carl Farrell ahead of the field. Duncan, was it tipped? Jacobs says so. Officials differ. So suddenly, after leading by 11, Central Catholic now down 8 and a chance for a late score. Terrence Vaughn's, boy, he had designs on that pass. That was a lazy inbounds. 5 seconds left now, and a steal by Vaughn's. Oh, he threw it up too soon. And there's the buzzer. Terrence had more time. Terrence thought the buzzer was about to go off, and he had a couple of seconds. Well, you can't fault too much that Terrence Vaughn's did in that half, though, as he led the Raiders with 13 first half points. And at the half, the score is Uniontown 34, Pittsburgh Central Catholic 26. Back with our halftime program right after this. The Central Catholic Vikings just now making their way out of the locker room. We have less than a minute to go in the halftime warm-up segment here. So Chuck Crummey with a lot to say to his team. Uniontown's been out here shooting around for quite some time. I don't know if that matters or not, but it go back to what Robert Chaney said just a few moments ago, and we thank Rob for once again joining us at the half. He said these first few minutes are going to be key here in the third quarter, and I think he's dead on correct. And I don't know if it'll matter, but it'll be interesting to see Central Catholic basically coming out without warming up. Hey, I see Nelson Jones walking across the floor. The Uniontown alum, senior on last year's team. Oh, wait a minute, check that. Did I say Nelson Jones? I meant the Dean of Discipline, of course. Uniontown leads by 8. They were up 16-15 by a point after one period. Now 34-26 as they outscore Central Catholic 18-11 in that second quarter. Terrence Vaughn's leading the way with 13 points. D.R. Jenkins and Kevin McClee with 6 apiece. Chris Jacobs had 4, Brandon Duncan 3, and David Winfrey 2. Carl Farrell did not score in that first half. Pat Brannigan off the bench leading the way for the Vikings. He has 8. Drew Garcia with 6. Jacob Barker with 4. Highland, Lamb, Watson, and Bucas with 2 each. And that's one of your big stories of the first half. Steve Bucas with only 2 points. Bucas and Garcia, the leading scorers for Central Catholic, but they've combined for only 8 points in the first half. 8 big points by Brannigan, though, including 2 3-pointers. He had the only 2 trays of the half for Central Catholic. Uniontown also hit 2 from downtown. Vaughns and Duncan each with a 3-ball. So we start things off here with Central Catholic getting the first possession of the second half. We'll see if they can cut into that 8-point deficit, and they do so early as Highland on the cut. He gets the lay-in, and it's 34-28. Good possession for the Vikings to open things up, and again, they come up with some half-court pressure, and that pass deflected, but comes to Vaughns. Finds Farrell underneath, and this time Farrell is able to convert. He had some tough luck in that first half. Looked to have some layups and had a couple shots put back in his face, but that time, nicely off the window for 2. What a great game he had offensively in the first round win over Trinity with 17 points and really looked good inside. Raiders by 8, 36-28. A minute gone here in the third period of play. Now Highland just hit the layup, trying the 3-pointer, and that was off by a wide margin. Careful on the pass. Jacobs gets it to Winfrey. Now the Raiders will set it up. Winfrey tried to get it into Farrell. Never had a chance. Now Highland will slow it down. Garcia will speed it up. The finger roll. Looking like the Iceman, George Gervin, on that finger roll. Now Vaughns kicks it to Jenkins. Baseline, comes out, can't get the shot to go. And now Central Catholic down by 6 with possession. Just hanging around. What they did in that WPIAL playoff game as well. Raiders led that entire game, usually by 10 to 15 or so, but Central Catholic stayed right there and made a couple late runs. And now Bucas. And it's a 4-point game. Central Catholic got to within 5 at one point in the third quarter, and then Uniontown ran the lead back up into double digits, and the Vikings got back to within 5 in the final quarter before Uniontown finally put it away in the final minute. But with less than a minute to go in that game, it was still in doubt. This is a quality Viking team. Vaughn's trying to kick it into Farrell. Ball kicked out of bounds. Now Brannigan checks back in. Highland will take a seat for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Quick pass into Jacobs. Turnaround no good. Comes right back to Chris. Second shot no good. Jacobs again. Third time. This one was blocked. Bucas got a piece of it. Now in the open court. And a foul will be called on Winfrey. So the Vikings with some momentum right now with 5:21 left in the third quarter. They trail by 4. David Winfrey's second foul of the night, first team foul on Uniontown this half. Central Catholic has committed only 3 fouls in this entire game, none so far in this half. Now Brannigan trying to drive baseline, little push off on Vaughns, nothing called. Now Barker. Jacobs wanted a foul call. Now Farrell going for the steal, and Terrence Vaughns says, son, you don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here. 4:52 remaining. Let's see if Uniontown can build a little momentum off of the block. Vaughns can't get the 3 to go. Now a 3-on-2 for the Vikings. Garcia, Winfrey, nice defense, and he draws the charge. There are some Central Catholic fans here, and they did not like that call one bit. Neither did head coach Crummey, as he pantomimes his view that Winfrey was leaning. And Raider Nation, they're just not feeling any sympathy right now. 4:40 left. A little custodial work under the basket there by the officials. 36-32, Uniontown only by 4. Second round action in the PIAA state tournament. Winner advances to the quarterfinals to take on the winner of Erie Cathedral Prep versus Shenley. Central Catholic in that zone that they've used primarily. They did play a little man here early in the third period. Skip pass, Jenkins, and whoa, foul called. Bucas will help up Dier. Thought that Jenkins was going to go with the jump shot from the corner, and he came flying through. If Dier knew that was going to happen, you could have just flung one towards the basket, maybe get 3 free throws out of the deal, but hard to anticipate that. Instead, Uniontown will inbounds. First foul on Bucas, second team foul on the Vikings. Vaughns kicks it into Farrell, and this time the foul will be called. So I mentioned Central Catholic with only 3 fouls all night. Now they get 3 in a 1-minute span. And that's the second one on Bucas. So Farrell will get a pair of free throws. Uniontown only had 2 free throws in that first half. Terrence Vaughns had them both, and they both were attempts to convert 3-point plays. And he hit both of them. In fact, nobody's missed a free throw yet tonight. Central Catholic is 4 for 4 from the line. And so is Uniontown. As Farrell hits them both, he has 4 points. Raiders back up by 6. Now Brannigan double teamed in the corner. Gets it out. Barker will set it up top. Under 4 minutes remaining, third period. Now Uniontown trying to crank up the defensive pressure. Vaughns almost strips it from Brannigan. Saw Bucas underneath, couldn't get it to him in time. And now he'll lose the ball. And a travel will be called as he lost the ball. That's actually a break for Central Catholic. Uniontown had some numbers. Chance to maybe score in transition there. Instead, now they'll inbound. 3:42 left in the third period. 38-32 Raiders with the lead by half dozen. Now Jenkins had thoughts about turning and going to the hoop quick. Simon Harris will check back in for Central Catholic. Next dead ball. There's Farrell on the turnaround, no good. Skies for the follow and loses it. Comes to Brannigan. Oh, on near travel there by Garcia is a nice step in by Winfrey, trying to draw either the charge or the travel. Now Brannigan, oh, he definitely walked there and got away with it. My goodness, shuffling off to Buffalo, and Central Catholic will get 2 out of the deal. Garcia in double digits with 10. Well, the officials missed one there. And that'll happen. They're going to miss them. You just hope they don't miss a bunch of them. Vikings in the zone and a steal. Vaughns, a little careless on that pass. Look at the spin move, and Terrence Vaughns, the dejection of the rejection. Highland swats it out of bounds. And the student body on the near side rises and applauds. 2 impressive swats by Vaughns here in the third quarter. Brandon Duncan now checks back in, and Terrence will take a seat. I don't think Coach Chuck, as happy as he may be about those blocks, I don't think he was happy about that pass. Last possession by Uniontown. 2.5 minutes left. It's a 4-point game. Chris Jacobs will come back in on the next dead ball. Jenkins back out to Winfrey. Uniontown's leading scorer now on the bench. Have to find points elsewhere. Dier's baseline jumper no good. And Highland will get the loose ball. Central Catholic can get to within 2. And a foul will be called. Farrell with the clean rejection, but Dier Jenkins will be called with contact down low. And that will be his 3rd foul. Second team foul on the Raiders. Harris will get a pair from the line with 2:03 left in the third quarter. He makes them both, and we have a 2-point game. Jacobs now checks in for McLeod. Central Catholic, a quality team, but they are 16-10. And yeah, 3 of those losses have come to Uniontown, but that's still 7 other losses they've had this year. They did not win their section. This would be an upset of monumental proportions if they can pull it off, and they're very much in this game. 38-35, final 2 minutes of the third period. I say it'd be a huge upset, but this isn't a big surprise. They have played Uniontown tough the last 2 games. Took them down to the final minute in both of them, so I don't think it's any shock. Now, Bonds is going to come back in next dead balls. Uniontown right now looks a little bit lost without him. There's Farrell. He'll kick it out to Jenkins. No need to rush. There's no shot clock. And Highland with a nice steal and a save. Now Cugini, high off the window. No good, but tapped up and in by Garcia. And it's a 1-point game. And I think Uniontown got a little impatient there. Let the game come to you. You don't have to rush up a shot. Just because you're having a trouble finding one doesn't mean you have to hurry. And again, they force the ball inside. Coach Shuck might want to think about a timeout as much as you'd hate to use one in the final minute. Look at this 3 by Highland. Are you kidding me? And Coach Shuck does have to use a timeout. And he wants a full timeout. With 52 seconds left in the third period, Central Catholic, for the first time since the opening minutes, in the lead at 40-38. And now we got a Central chant going on. And Raider Nation wants to make it a dueling chant. And Central fans are pointing at the scoreboard. And Uniontown fans are pointing at their watches, saying there's still time. High school athletics, you gotta love it. What pressure for these young, let's call them young men. They've earned that title. And I'm talking about on both teams. They gotta play under a lot of pressure. And it's gut check time when we get into this fourth quarter, which we're less than a minute away from. And it looks like we may be taking this one down to the wire. I mean, if Highland would have put a stamp on that last shot, it'd have had to been, a 34-cent stamp wouldn't have got it. It wouldn't have got that one delivered. I mean, that was long range. Careful on the pass. And there's a steal. Uniontown totally out of their offense right now. Garcia and Carl Farrell says, I don't think so, because you don't come down this lane without your hall pass. And a foul in the backcourt. Cugini is called for the foul. That's his first, team fourth. Now we're going to get a little talk at the scoring table just to verify here who that foul was on, perhaps. I think maybe we're going to have a change. No, it was on Cugini. 35 seconds left. Raiders trail by 2, but they haven't gotten a shot off the last 3 trips down the court, as they're being very careless with the basketball. Now Terrence Vaughn's getting his 3 on. And the Raiders are back in the lead. And the Vikings throw it away. Harris trying to hit Bucas underneath. And now 22 seconds left. And the Raiders could play for 1 if they choose. And that's what Coach Shuck wants. 12 seconds. 8 seconds, time to start looking at the basket. De'Aaron Jenkins. That 3 is no good. 2 seconds left. This will be the end of the period as Highland does not fling one up towards the hoop. Oh my goodness. We are in for a fun 8 minutes. Yeah, this is getting serious now, folks. It's been going on long enough. Time for a Raider run. We haven't really had a patented Raider run yet tonight. And a timeout call as Barker was being hassled by Chris Jacobs. And he has to use a timeout. This will be a 30. And we're all the way over on the other side from the scoring table, so this is unofficial, but I believe both teams have 2 full timeouts and 1:30 remaining. 7.5 minutes left. Possession arrow is pointing in Uniontown's favor. Check that. In Central Catholic's favor. And the foul situation, Uniontown has committed 2 team fouls only, and Central Catholic only 4, so neither team even close to the bonus at this point. And individually, nobody in serious foul trouble. D.R. Jenkins has 3. Nobody else with more than 2 on either side. It's been a well-played basketball game, very cleanly played, and very tight throughout, although Uniontown did lead by as much as 11 in the second quarter. Right now, it's a 3-point Uniontown lead. Central Catholic with possession. Lob pass. Vaughns has it. All right, stepped on the line. Tried to get it into Harris. A little too tall for Simon Harris. Terrence was there. Tootsie's on the baseline, though, so Vikings will inbound. 7:04 left. 43-40. Well, you've got to admit it's a lot more exciting this way. You'd love the 20, 30-point blowout wins, but this is fun. Now Brannigan, dribble drive. No good, and Vaughns with the rebound. Good box out. Now Chris Jacobs looking up. Jenkins will wait for Terrence. Vaughns dishes it to Jacobs, loses the ball, but Farrell is there. And one. Highland wanted to travel, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not so sure that he's wrong there. I think Carl might have gotten away with an extra step. We had a good angle on that. We're not giving back the 2 points. And now Farrell with a chance for the 3-point play. Barker, Watson back in for the Vikings. Uniontown with their starting 5 out there. Winfrey, Jenkins, Vaughns, Jacobs, and Carl Farrell, who does convert the 3-point play. He is 3 for 3 from the line, and he now has 9 points all here in the second half. 46-40, and Raider Nation chanting for that defense. Which is, of course, the mark of the Raiders. What they're known for. Oh, and Jacobs will be called for the reach-in. He thought he got all leather. His third team foul on Uniontown here in the half. 6:16 remaining. 6-point game. Give head coach Chuck Crummey and the Central Catholic Vikings some credit. They came prepared. Well, they should have been. It's the 4th time they've seen the Raiders. But they've done a fine job. And there's the 5-second count. Finally. They've come so close to that 5-second violation on the inbounds throughout this evening, and finally it happened. Highland just couldn't find anybody. So now Uniontown with a chance to put a little bit of daylight between them and the Vikings with a score here. Terrence Vaughns, the runner. Vikings got a piece of it. Might have been Bucas. And back comes Central Catholic. And a steal. Jenkins to Jacobs, he'll slow it up. Wise decision, didn't have numbers. Pass deflected, but gets to Terrence in the corner. Uniontown has tried to force some passes here tonight. And there's one right there, but they get away with it. In and out from Terrence. Carl Farrell keeps it alive. Comes to the Vikings. And they're trying to force too many interior passes here by Uniontown. That's a little uncharacteristic of them. There's a nice dish. Garcia to Barker for the score. 6 for Jacob Barker. It's back to a 4-point game, 46-42, 5:10 left here in the fourth quarter. And Coach Shuck wants a timeout. Yeah, he cannot be happy with the passing by his Raiders. This is a 30-second timeout, and that will be their last 30. They still have 2 fulls left. Uniontown has been a little careless. There's no doubt their strategy, I shouldn't say there's no doubt. I'm not down there in the huddle, I wasn't in the locker room, but the appearance from up here at least is that the strategy has been to try to penetrate that Viking zone with passes. Wait a minute, the spelling bee is going on again. To penetrate, as I was saying, that zone with passes, and they've been effective at times, but they've also forced the ball at times and tried one pass too many on occasion. Or I don't know if one pass too many is the right phrase, but just they tried to force it inside when maybe they needed to be a little more patient. In fact, I think that might be the better way to put it than one pass too many. That's when you pass up a shot for a pass. Here they're trying to force the ball inside when the opportunity maybe not there yet. So Coach Shuck with some instructions. Now we're back to action. 46-42, approaching the 5-minute mark here in the fourth period. With these students over here right below us, below our camera, they haven't sat down in the second half. And I don't know that they sat down much in the first half. Now Uniontown's going to show some patience here, see if they can pull Central Catholic out of that zone. And that's fine, but you got to be careful. Don't make the sloppy pass. Now Jacobs, a little bit of penetration, but they kick it back out. Eventually Central Catholic's going to have to come out and pick them up, man, you would think. But this is a long time to throw it away, or to throw it around, rather. And there's what I'm talking about. Vaughns with the rejection. And now he'll be called with a foul. What an athletic play by Terrence Vaughns. Watson will go to the line. The third block by Terrence, and they have all been highlight reel material. Now Watson with his first 2 free throws of the night to make it a 2-point game. And that's what I'm talking about. It's a long time to throw that ball around the perimeter, especially the way they've been struggling offensively, really since the end of the first half. That's a big miss for Ross Watson. Every free throw is crucial from here on in. And of course we know what a great free throw shooting team the Red Raiders are. They're 5 for 5 so far tonight. Now Watson gets the second. It's a 3-point game. And the Vikings will pick up three-quarter court. And Vaughns is fouled by Watson as he's pushed out of bounds. That will be the 6th team foul on Central Catholic, so no bonus yet. Everything from here on out will send the Raiders to the line. Uniontown has committed 4 team fouls. And another turnover. A 3 would tie it for Central Catholic. Watson driving, high, arcing shot over Jacobs, no good. Harris tries to keep it alive, but Winfrey with the rebound. Now De'Aaron Jenkins in the open court, and send him to the line. That was a big sequence. Foul was called on Barker. That's his second. A chance for Central Catholic to pull to within 1 if that short jumper by Watson would have been good. Instead, Uniontown can now up it to 6. And this would be the 4th 3-point play of the night for the Raiders, but not to be, as De'Aaron misses from the stripe. So it's a 5-point game, 3.5 minutes left. Now Simon Harris backing in. It rolls out. Tip no good. Farrell playing volleyball now. Who touched it last? I think the Vikings. Highland. Good call. Raider ball. 3:28. 48-43. Raiders by 5. You didn't think it was going to be easy now, did you? Now Winfrey picked up the dribble. Now Terrence Vaughns wisely will pull it out. Well, Uniontown hasn't looked pretty with their ball handling, and there's a block by Harris, but the ball's tipped to Vaughns. Up, under, and in. 18 points and a near steal in the backcourt. Barker will now check back in. Brannigan will take a seat. 3:02 left. Raiders up by 7. Uniontown has led pretty much all the way since early in the game. Central Catholic led in the opening minutes, and they had a brief lead here early in the fourth quarter at 43-41. Now Highland for 3. That's no good. Ball is tapped up by Bucas, no good. Can Harris save it? No, Terrence Vaughns catches it, and now the Raiders have numbers. Jenkins, no good. Vaughns tries to follow, no good. And now Jacobs, beautiful defensive play as he steps in on Garcia. And Drew Garcia is called for the travel. And now Coach Shuck wants a timeout again. And this will leave Uniontown with only 1 timeout remaining. And assistant coach Rich Bierbauer telling head coach Shuck that in the huddle. We just have 1 timeout left. Rob Kesmarski, of course, the other assistant coach. What a fine job this coaching staff has done. And I don't just mean this year. And now the Raiders student body chanting "Sit down Central," and it's their turn to point at the scoreboard. It's not over yet, folks. 2.5 minutes. Let's point at the scoreboard when the clock reads 000. I'll feel a lot better then if it's a 7-point margin. Erie Cathedral Prep playing Shenley in another second-round matchup, and the winner of that game, they're playing on this same night. Again, you know by now who's won that game. We don't, as we're sitting here tonight at the game. They're playing at Slippery Rock University. They're ending their game right about now, too. The winner of that game plays the winner of this game on Saturday, and if it's Uniontown involved, we'll be there for you here on HSTV. Two and a half minutes left as we're back to action. Highland checking Vaughns. Now Central Catholic does have to come out and play, and Uniontown goes into the weave. And this is usually a sign that they're putting the game away. But again, I repeat, they have not been particularly efficient with the basketball here tonight. So let's wait and see. There's a kick. 2:06 left. So they've run 30 seconds of clock off. And Central Catholic very soon will be getting to the point where the clock will be as much of an opponent as the Raiders. In fact, we may be at that point already. And they may pretty soon be forced to foul. And again, Uniontown is in the bonus. But a steal, there we go. Now a 3-on-2, and Winfrey steals it back. Well, in that particular case, David Winfrey giveth, and David Winfrey taketh away. So saith the Raiders. Now Jenkins, Farrell, smart move. Well, smart move to pull it out, but not a good pass. And now Barker, and a foul. Well, I mentioned what a big sequence we had a few moments ago for the Raiders, and that's a big sequence right there for the Vikings. Winfrey is called for his 3rd foul. 15th foul on the Raiders, and Barker will now attempt his first free throw of the night. And if it's good, we have a 4-point game, 1.5 minutes left. Cugini will now come in for Barker. 1:31 remaining. It's 50-46. And I don't know how many turnovers Uniontown has committed, but boy, it has been a lot. As many as we've seen in a Uniontown game this year, that's for certain, and there's another one. And Coach Shuck only has one more timeout. You really don't want to use that here, so they're kind of on their own out there right now, and they just need to settle down. Minute 20. Fans want defense. Mark of the Raiders all year. And we're going to get a timeout now. Crummy will call a timeout. He has a 30 left. No signal yet from the officials. It's going to be a full. So both teams with one full timeout. Central Catholic also has a 30. Minute 13 remaining. Just started to say, mark of the Raiders all year, their ability, and it hasn't happened often this year where they haven't played well, but their ability to win when they don't put out their best effort. Tonight has certainly not been their best effort. But they've been able to win these games nonetheless. And they come into this one with an 18-game winning streak on the line. But those past 18 don't matter. It's this one. They need this 19 or they won't get a chance at a 20th. Let's give you the game reset now. Uniontown leads it by 4. Uniontown has one full timeout left. Central Catholic 1 full and 1:30. Central Catholic has committed 17 fouls, so Uniontown's in the bonus. Uniontown is in the 1-and-1. Uniontown has committed just 5 team fouls. The possession arrow is pointing in Central Catholic's direction. Vaughns, Winfrey, Jacobs, Jenkins, Farrell, starting 5 on the floor for the Raiders. Barker, Harris, Garcia, Bucas, Highland for the Vikings. We're in the final minute. Bucas, turnaround, over Vaughns, no good. Garcia keeps it alive, and Bucas calls a timeout. Very heady play. I don't like that rule that allows that, but that's the rule nonetheless, that you can do that. I'd like to see him change that rule, because I don't think a player should be allowed to call timeout in the air like that. But nonetheless, it's legal. Coach Shuck is upset about something. It doesn't think he called it in time or whatever, but from this angle, it certainly looked like he did. It's a 30, so that leaves Central with one full timeout remaining. They'll now inbounds with 54.4 seconds left. Nice play by Garcia to keep the ball alive, and then Bucas went up, got it, and quickly signaled for timeout while he was in the air. Smart play. I've mentioned before that I don't think it's a smart play when players do that in the first quarter. They see the college players and the pro players do it, and they want to do it too. I don't think it's a good play to waste a timeout there, but early in the game. But in the final minute, a very heads-up play by Bucas. Now we're back to action. 4-point game. Raiders need a stop. Vikings need a score even more. Now Garcia. And contact will be called on Winfrey. And that will be his 4th. Well, there definitely was contact. But still, a little bit of a touch foul there. He was impeding his progress, I guess. 16 fouls, so it's an inbound situation, but now any more fouls will send Central to the line, and now we get a steal. And now Terrence Vaughns will call time. No, they're going to say he touched the sideline. And Coach Shuck is up again. How come we don't get it? That's what he's saying. Terrence a little slow getting up. Looks to be all right. Terrence, as he went to the floor, he tried to call timeout. Didn't work. And now the officials got the 5-second count going. Nobody came to inbounds. Highland has to hurry up. Gets it into Harris. That's the right play by the officials. If they don't come over, throw it in. Now here's Highland. Skips it over. Now underneath, Bucas. He'll skip it out. Highland, this is for 2. No good. Farrell. And it goes off of Farrell. 23.9 seconds. Well, Central Catholic's been down at this end of the court for a long time. Nothing to show for it yet. Running down the clock if nothing else. Now Brannigan will check in. He has 2 3-pointers, both in the first half. Harris will sit down. Again, Central doesn't need a 3. They need a score. They're down by 4. Highland just gets it in. Bucas, no good. Ball is still alive. Brannigan, and a foul will be called. And they're calling it a shooting foul, and it's going to be the 5th on Winfrey. Well, I tell you, I don't want to sit here and whine about the officiating because I don't think that's ever productive. The only issue I will take with that is I think that foul was on the floor. I think that contact was on the floor, and it should be a 1-and-1 right now instead of 2 shots. Which may or may not matter. We'll see what Brannigan does here from the line. But the big story is that David Winfrey is fouled out, so now Uniontown without their point guard, which would really be crucial if we have to play more than 19.4 seconds, if you know what I mean. Brannigan bricks the free throw. He was 2 for 2 from the line. Little tougher with 19 seconds left, though. The airway gets a little more restricted. Now Uniontown has to make sure they box out for a rebound here. Brannigan hits the second, and Harris will now check back in for Brannigan. Cugini also will check in quickly. And Dave Shuck is going to use the final timeout now. With 19.4 seconds left, he wants to be sure that his troops know what they're doing, especially with Winfrey out of the game. That's the last timeout for the Red Raiders. Central Catholic still has a full 3-point game. They played January 4th at Uniontown. Raiders won 80-60. They played February 1st at Central Catholic. Raiders won 64-62 on a Farrell tip-in at the buzzer. And they played February 22nd at California University in the quarterfinals of the WPIAL tournament, and the Raiders won 69-61 in a game Uniontown led all the way, but couldn't put Central Catholic away until the end. This one has been tight most of the way. Uniontown did lead by 11 at one stretch late in the first half. Central hit a 3, Brannigan, late in the half to make it an 8-point halftime game. Central chipped away at that lead throughout the third period. It was a 1-point game going into the final quarter. A Highland 3 gave Central a brief lead, their only lead of the second half, in the opening seconds of the period. And right now it's a 3-point game as we go back to action. This is everything you could have asked for in a high school game. If you're a Raider fan, you ask for one more thing, and that's a Raider victory, but now we get a turnover. No foul called. Garcia with the layup. It's a 1-point game. And Central calls their final timeout. Well, a lot of contact, and Coach Shuck cannot believe that a foul wasn't called. And Terrence is limping a little bit as he tried to dribble between 2 Viking defenders. No foul was called. And that's a huge non-call, and now Terrence really appears to be in pain. And you want him out there. He's your best free throw shooter. And especially with Winfrey already on the bench, he may be your best ball handler out there right now, too. So he's going to have to suck it up as he hops on that bad wheel. 12.4 seconds left. It was 50-43 with 2.5 minutes left. And some of the fans here were starting to feel comfortable. Nobody's comfortable now. Uniontown has not scored in that stretch. And Central Catholic has chipped away, and now it's a 1-point game off that steal and the Garcia layup. Garcia's 14 points have led Central. Vaughns with 18 to lead the Raiders. Here we go. 12 seconds. Got to get it inbounded first. There's Terrence. He'll come down court, and there's the foul. Harris will be called. 8th team foul, so it will be a 1-and-1. Terrence is in some discomfort, no doubt about that. Will that affect his free throw shooting? We all know he's been money on the line, especially late in ball games. And he absolutely iced that Central Catholic WPIAL playoff game with several free throws in the final couple minutes. Even if he makes both of them, Central can still tie it with a three-pointer. This is a 1-and-1. Got it. .4 seconds left. No timeouts remaining, so Central will just have to come down court, and they'll need a three. Here we go, folks. One more defensive stop. Garcia, it's short. It comes to Farrell. 1 second, and that's the ball game. That layup does not count, but they don't need it. Stay off the court, Raider fans. Just jump up and down in the stands, because the Raiders have advanced to the state quarterfinals. Oh, it wasn't easy, folks, but we didn't think it would be. And in this PIAA version of Survivor, it's time to say, Central Catholic, the Red Raider tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. The final score, Uniontown 52, Central Catholic 49. We'll go courtside and wrap it up right after this. Into the state quarterfinals. They'll play the winner of the Shenley Cathedral Prep game, and we don't know at this point who has won that game. Certainly you'll know by the time you watch this. We're down below the court right now. We want to save the knee there for Terrence Vaughn's. He limping around the court enough. We don't want to make him walk back up the steps. We'll talk with Terrence in just a few moments, but first let's talk with assistant coach Rob Kesmarski. And well, again, mark of a good team is to win when you don't play your best, and I think it's fair to say they didn't play their best tonight. Well, we may not play our best, but that's what makes the state championship so special. Every game we know from here on out is going to be tough, and we have to earn our wins. And these young men bounced up, stepped up to the challenge. And Terrence was on the line at the end, and is the best. When you have the best foul shooter in the country on the line, you know you're in good hands. We've talked before about the mystique of the Uniontown Red Raiders, especially their defense, and how a lot of times a team might be half beaten before the game even starts, but that's not the case when it's the fourth matchup between two teams. I don't think we can underestimate the familiarity that Central Catholic had. Yeah, Central Catholic's a very good basketball team, and they're well prepared for us, and they gave us some trouble with switching their defenses against us. And their credit, you know, you don't get this far in the state playoffs if you're not a good basketball team. So we know we have a couple more steps to go to get to Hershey. Now, again, the ball handling down the stretch, you have to be a little bit concerned about that. Seemed to get a little tentative in that fourth period. Well, at the end of the game, we were a little bit tentative, and we need to attack the basket a little bit more. But we'll be fine. These kids are veteran basketball players. They've been there before, and they're going to go again. And, of course, on the positive, something you know a little bit about, and that's making free throws. Got to win that game from the line, those close ones down the stretch. Definitely. Foul shooting wins games, and Terrence Vaughn's the best foul shooter I've seen since, I don't know who else was a good foul shooter, but at the end of the year, besides winning the state, he's going to make about 55 in a row, and we're going to set another record. Congratulations on the win. Good luck down the road. I think he wanted to say the best since himself, but he was a little modest there. Yeah, that's what he wanted to say. Okay, 9 seconds left. You're up by 1 point. You want the ball in your hands, don't you? Yes, sir, Mr. Doso. It seems like it's a good situation for me. You know, not a lot of time on the clock, up by one, down by one. You know, whatever the situation, my teammates have a lot of confidence in me. You know, I have a lot of confidence in myself, and I got the job done today. Okay, take us inside your head a little bit. You're on the line. What do? You're just blocking everything out? You don't hear a thing? You're just focused on the front of the rim, the back of the rim? Tell us what you're doing. Well, I'm just thinking about making it, you know. It's having fun out there. That's what I do, you know. After the first one, I usually smile, you know, to let everybody know I'm having fun out there. And, you know, I just get the ball and it goes in the hoop. A couple of threes early in the game, but also you were looking to take the ball to the hoop early in the game as well, looking for the drive when that opportunity was there. Well, they were trying to take our outside game away. They played a zone, and they were forcing us to, you know, drive the ball. So, I would pump fake to the air or something and, you know, take it to the hoop. Sometimes dish it, sometimes shoot it. So Now, what's your take? We heard what the coach had to say. What's your take on the trouble you had in the fourth quarter a little bit, throwing the ball away, getting a little bit loose offensively?
I think we were a little tight. We came out, and I think, just like I told the reporters, we played not to win the game. We played to, not lose. That's what we did, and we had to play to win. We just have to go back and practice and work on moving the ball well and executing well.
And finally, the knee. Now, you took a couple of falls there down the stretch, and just bump it up a little bit, or how's it feel right now?
Oh, I mean, I bumped it up a little bit, but we got a good trainer, so I'm gonna go back here, ice my knee a little bit, and go eat.
Well, if Brandon Knight can play this weekend, you can play on Saturday as well. Listen, congratulations, another big win.
Thank you.
Good luck down the road. Back to wrap it up in just one moment. And I told you, I've said it before, they start him young in Raider Nation. This is Dana Vaughns, that's Terrence's nephew. And look at that. He is ready. He's thinking about shooting a couple free throws himself. Getting that defensive stance. Well, a little stage fright, but that's okay. He'll be fine when things are ready. There's a future star. Congratulations to the Red Raiders. Indeed, the mission continues as they move into the Elite Eight, if you will, and they advance into the state quarterfinals, the Western semifinals, however you want to put it. There's 8 teams left here in Pennsylvania at Quad A, and Uniontown certainly is one of them. Terrence Vaughn's the leading scorer tonight with 20 points, and in fact, I believe he was the only Red Raider to reach double figures tonight. A balanced attack as far as everyone else was concerned, but Terrence certainly leading the way with his 20 points. Uniontown next up, they take on the winner of the Erie Cathedral Prep Shenley game in the quarterfinals. That will be a Saturday, most likely a Saturday afternoon game, and we will be there here on Herald Standard Television. For tonight's game, it was certainly close throughout. Uniontown led by as much as 11 at one stretch, but that fourth quarter, that was one to remember. Uniontown made the plays when they had to, and they won the game from the line, as they have so often this season. Congratulations to the Raiders. They advance into round 3, and we'll be there. We thank you for tuning in. My thanks to Eric Zakovic for running the camera. And we'll see you in the quarterfinals as the Red Raiders roll on. The drive for 5 still alive. We'll see you soon here on HSTV Sports.